Hi everyone, I'm Major. In this video, let's take a look at the cabinet modeling case. Building ArchiWood is a powerful tool, which can solve the problem of integrated door, wall, and cabinet, and also solve the problem of cabinets. When we are modeling cabinets, we can pay attention to the following issues. In this video, we're going to talk about a long cabinet modeling. We can see this case. It has cabinets on both sides. The left side is the design drawing of the cabinet, and the right is the rendering. How can we draw this cabinet? First, we need to know which appliances are inside. We need to determine the size and location of these appliances. To determine, for example, we need to locate the stove first, and the location of the range hood. How to determine it? It depends on the kitchen flue, our design, and the user's living habits, and so on, to determine its location. After determination, we can proceed to the design. We can draw a smart box, and then replace the smart box through module components. To replace it. To quickly create this model. This modeling method. They build their ArchiWood logs, the background parametric model that has been made. To quickly replace the generated model, we call this modeling method module modeling. Of course, in the process of cabinet modeling, we can actually use it flexibly. We can use various modeling methods of Zhongju to complete the creation of the corresponding model. No matter which modeling method we use, we still recommend that you follow the basic use process of ArchiWood, especially beginners. Our first step, we still recommend creating a project order, then follow these steps to complete the model creation. Next, we open SketchUp. We can see that this is the case we will talk about in this video. Case of cabinet modeling. This case is also an interior model. Part of it. We can see that it is part of the kitchen. Of course, different types of kitchen cabinets are different, such as L-shaped, U-shaped, and so on. We can't explain all the cabinets. In the future, we will release more cases of cabinet modeling. Our current case is based on the floor plan design. That is to say, we have already created the walls of this model. We just need to build the model on the wall to complete the creation of the corresponding model. Of course, for house-type modeling, we can use SketchUp's native tools. You can also ArchiWood with the help of some of the tools that come with it. We can open the client-side panel and enter our account and password here. Then click Login, and then click Login to enter the client panel. Then open the Scene Design module. We can see that here there are many tools related to house model, such as drawing walls. Of course, if we log in for the first time, we suggest click the global settings below the global module. And the first time we use it, it will load data. We can see in the lower left corner, there will be a display progress of data loading. Okay, wait a few seconds. We can see that it has been loaded. We can close this panel. Next, we can click these icons normally. To use it, we can click in the drawing area, and then draw our walls. Use the push-pull tool to push out the height. Okay, the model we need has been created. Then we can use this as a basis to draw our cabinet model. Okay, next, let's go back to the current model. Here, delete the drawn cabinet model first. We just click to select and delete, because it is a combined cabinet, so we can delete it with one click. After deleting, and then we can clean up the useless data inside. To clean up, we open the cabinet module. Below the cabinet module, we can see the icon for cleaning here. We click this icon. In this way, the unnecessary data in the drawing area can be cleaned up. Then we can create our project order. Open Project Management. Then, click on the New Project Order here, and then here. enter the name of our current project. We can enter the corresponding street and the community. Then I'll enter a cabinet here. After entering it, we can enter the customer's name here. We can write major. Then click the Save button at the bottom. And click Yes. In this way, we have created a project order. After creating it, we can click on all the projects, and then here, we can see the cabinet we just created. And at the same time, in the upper left corner of the interface, we can see the current project order. Of course, in the actual modeling process, we may not need to create the entire model. There are many other models in this interior model, which will take up computer resources. In fact, we need to create this part of the cabinet. Cabinet model. We just need to keep this part of the wall. In the modeling process, it will be more efficient. For beginners, pay attention to the operation details. Next, we can click to pick the interior space. And then click on the smart box. In the pop-up panel, we can set the corresponding parameters. We can also widen this panel. We can also widen it. For this parameter, we can refer to the design drawings. We can see that its height is 800 millimeters, and the depth is 600 millimeters. And the width is composed of a series of data. So we can enter it here. As for the width, is adaptive, so we don't need to enter it here. We enter its height and depth. After entering, and then we can place or arrange the smart box. Here, for beginners, we need to pay attention, because our video is about cases. There are some operations. If you don't understand it clearly, it is recommended that go and watch some basic tutorials on ArchiWood, such as this disk. For this disk, in the basic tutorial, we actually talked about this disk, its basic usage method, how to bring it up, and how to set it. So, in this video, when we talk about some cases, we didn't talk about these basic issues. If you find some functions, or some basic functions, you can't use, you can communicate with us at any time. We are happy to answer your various questions. Of course, in order to be more efficient, we can actually set shortcuts for the icons. Set a shortcut key for the icons, such as the pick class empty. We can set shortcuts for them. For the commonly used icon commands here, we can set shortcuts for them. Okay. Let's go back to this panel, and then we can click on placement, and then the mouse cursor to the drawing area near the wall, and click. After clicking, we can see that it automatically moves closer to the wall. However, it is not aligned with all the walls. At this time, we can use the built-in Move tool in SketchUp, and then align it after snapping. The second method, we can use some alignment plugins, such as, we can use this alignment plugin to quickly align it. We click to select the box first, and then click this icon. Then put the mouse cursor on the face. Click on the face, and click on the surface, and click. You can see that it is quickly aligned. After the operation, press the spacebar to end it. Okay. Next, we will split this smart box. Place the mouse cursor on the smart box. First, click on the smart box. Place the cursor on the box, and a yellow line appears. We can put it here, and it will be a vertical line. If we put it here, it will be a horizontal line. Let the yellow line on the left, which means it'll be split from left to right. Then in the number input box in the lower right corner, and enter the value for the split. Okay, we can enter /20, space 700, space 410, space 410, space 850, space 410, space 20, enter. In this way, we can see that it has performed an adaptive. The width of the box and the interior, and the space of the kitchen, will be perfectly matched. Then we move the mouse cursor on the smart box. Of course, at this time, you see, because the box is relatively long, on the left, is blocked by the disk. If we think it is visually, it is a certain interference. We can press the ESC key on the keyboard to deselect the selected box. To cancel the selection, at this time, put the mouse cursor in the blank area and double-click the disk. It can be moved to the position. Double-click Double-click to move it to the position we want. In this way, we can avoid visual distractions. Okay, let's press the spacebar to end the operation. Click on the smart box. At this time, the disk is here. It will not interfere with our vision. Then the mouse cursor is on the green grip. Click to move the mouse. Then, in the lower right corner of the number input box, enter equals 60 and press enter. In this way, the smart box will become 60 millimeters. Okay, click and move the mouse. Enter equals 60 and press enter. Press the spacebar to end the operation. We can do some divisions for the smart box and do some basic operations. Okay, then next, we can replace it with a module. After we click on this box, and then click this icon, and turn the box into a cabinet. Click, and then click this icon to turn it into a board. Okay, this is a cabinet. According to the design drawings, we can see that it is a drawer-based cabinet, or lower cabinet. The second one, it's a pair of doors. The third one, it's a 3-drawer drawer. The fourth one, it is a right opening door. Then we can click on this box. Then go to open the ArchiWood product library. Then we can go here. We can find the cabinet folder. Double-click to open it. The first one, because it is a drawer-based cabinet. Then we can find the drawer-based cabinet. It is a double drawer. We double-click it. After double-clicking it, then we directly click to replace this icon. At this time, a panel pops up. We keep the default settings. Then click Replace. We can see that there are two problems. The first one is the cabinet that is replaced. Its height does not fit. We can see that its height has increased by 100 millimeters. This is the first problem. The second problem is that we can see that this cabinet, its drawer, the drawer face, has also been extended, which means it doesn't fit perfectly with the smart box. Perfectly fit. How to operate it? We can press Ctrl and Z to undo the operation, and press Ctrl and Z again to undo the operation. After undoing, we can see it looks like this. But here, we actually need to pay attention to a problem. Our Ctrl plus Z may not have completely. We can see here. We can see, at the origin coordinates, there is still this model. We need to delete it. So, sometimes, Ctrl plus Z is not a very good way, because we may not have fully undone it. Right. Okay, then next, we will replace the cabinet. After selecting the box, then double-click and replace it. Here, we can set its corresponding parameters. We can set a height of 100 and shrink inward, and set a 20 depth indent here. Okay. Replace it. We can see that the height has been adapted correctly. But although the depth has been adapted, but its alignment method has not been aligned to the back. So we can see here, we need to align it manually. Align it like this. In this way, the front face of the drawer can be aligned with the surface of the smart box. Be consistent. But this method may require us to operate manually, which is a bit troublesome. Let's restore it to the default again. Let's select this cabinet. This time, we use another method to restore it. After we select this cabinet model, or after selecting any model, then we click to pick the inner space. Then a disk will pop up. After the disk pops up, we can click on the box. Here, we restore its parameters to 0. Okay, and then replace it, and it's restored. In this way, we don't need to use Ctrl plus Z to undo it. Okay, let's click the box. Then double-click it, and here, click Replace in the pop-up panel. We indent the height by 120 for depth indentation. At this time, we check the alignment option, align it, and then replace it. We can see that it will automatically align to the back. In this way, we have completed the operation we need, isn't it? So this is a very convenient place. Okay, this is a cabinet with a door. First, we need to merge the box. Then we go back to the previous level. Then find the cabinet with the door. And find the double door cabinet. Double-click to replace it. We can keep the default parameters. Then replace it. This completes the operation. This is a 3-drawer. So we go back to the previous level. Find the corresponding drawer base cabinet. Find the 3-drawer. And double-click to replace. And then operate the pop-up panel. It's done. This is a right cabinet. Right opening floor cabinet. We open it here. Then find a right opening floor cabinet. And then replace it. And complete our operation, right? It's very efficient. To complete the creation of the current model. Here, we can take a look. So what we see here is the so-called module modeling. We can replace it with modules to quickly complete the model creation. Of course, we can make this model more perfectly. For example, there will be a kicker below, so we can double-click on this board to enter the group editing state. Then, we can draw a rectangle here. Okay, then use the pull-push tool to push it away. Okay, then we can exit the group editing state. At this time, we can draw here. We double-click to enter the group editing state, and then draw a rectangle here. And use the pull tool to push it away. Okay. Exit the group editing state. We draw a rectangle. Then, we can draw here. After drawing here, because this rectangular face is very long, reaching 2820, it is an extra long board. It's not easy to produce. So we need to split this board in half. We capture its end position, so that it can be divided into 2 parts. We select both surfaces. Right-click the context menu that pops up. We can click the Face to Board button. Then, set the name of the board. Then, set the thickness of the board, and click OK. Then we have set this board. After setting it, we can move this board forward to align it with here. Okay, in this way, we have drawn this kicker. Of course, here, to make it more beautiful, we can consider hiding the kicker. Hide it first. Then, we can increase the depth of it. Then we push it inward by 18. Here, we do the same thing. We will push this place. Push it inward by 18 millimeters. Okay, and then push it in. Okay, then we unhide it. Of course, we can select the cabinet. Right-click the context menu that pops up. We can select to display all. Okay, now it's displayed. After it is displayed, then we select these 2 boards. After selecting them, then we move it inward. In this way, it is aligned. Such a ceiling board, or the kickboard, can be drawn. It will be more beautiful. Of course, as a designer, we can make settings according to our needs. I'm just giving you a demonstration here. It just represents this meaning. It doesn't mean we must draw the model like this, or design it like this. After this is drawn, we can draw its countertop. We can open the mid-tide client panel. And then below the scene design module, we can see that there is a function to draw the countertop. Click this icon, and then move the mouse cursor. Put it on the 4 corners of the cabinet. Click, because the 4 corners can form a rectangle. We can click here. Here. On the extension line of the dotted line, here. We should click here, right? But there is a wall behind us. We can use this line as a reference. We can click on this line. It will automatically capture here. Then we can move to here and click. Move to here and click. Click to return to its starting point. This way, it forms a closed loop. 1, 2, 3, 4. go back here and click again at 5. Of course, if we don't draw the wall, we can draw a rectangular surface as a reference, or quickly locate it. Okay, at this time, a panel for drawing the countertop pops up. First, we need to set the corresponding material. Then, we can set the corresponding front splash guard. Of course, below it, this panel can be adjusted. After setting it, we can click Apply. We can see that it is drawn. As for the rear splash guard, we don't need it. We can double-click to delete it. Okay, in this way, we can see that the lower cabinet or the floor cabinet model, we have basically completed the drawing. After drawing, we can also generate a stove for it. But here, we need to pay attention, because now, we have already positioned, and the range hood has been positioned, and placed it in the corresponding position. This model is also drawn 1-to-1, so in the process of creating it, we should consider a problem that the stove and the range hood here should be on a straight line. In this case, in the process of creating the model, or during the on-site measurement process, some details that are easy to occur will cause the hood and the cabinet below will have a deviation. We should pay attention to this problem, okay? Okay, so what should we do next? How to draw the stove inside? It's very simple. We can use the function of drawing countertops. Click it, and then click on the cabinet. Then click on the countertop. You can see a preview display. Then right-click the context menu that pops up. We can click to draw the stove. In this way, we can see that the stove has been generated. We can select the drawn models to make a selection. After selecting, right-click. We can create a custom cabinet and name it. We can name it as our cabinet. Then, OK. But there is no overall formation, so we need to combine the cabinet. Then right-click on the pop-up context menu. Context menu. We can see the combination cabinet. Click on it and name it, and then click OK. In this way, it becomes a whole. Of course, for this stove, we can see that it's not placed in. We don't need to put it in, okay? It's right here. If we need to put it in, we can use Ctrl+X to cut it. Then enter the group editing state, and then paste it in place, or paste it in place. We click it. After clicking, then it will come in, right? We exit the group editing state. This model, we can see that it has been drawn. After drawing, we can assign it a material. Here, we find the material, and then we find some commonly used materials, some colors. Then, here, select a slightly white material. Then we can apply this material. To assign this material together, click this icon. In this way, it can apply this material to the cabinet doors and cabinets. To apply this material together, of course, the cabinet we generate, we can also use the interactive animation, and then here, to check it. Okay. This is our basic operation, to see if our design is reasonable. Is it good? This part has been drawn, and then we can draw its upper cabinet, or upper cabinets. The method we draw the upper cabinet is the same as the previous method of drawing, or the floor cabinet is the same. We can first draw an intelligent box, and enter the corresponding dimensions, and then click Place, and click in the drawing area. At this time, the smart box we create is on the ground. If we use the Move tool to move it to the corresponding position, and determine its height, it will be a bit cumbersome. How can we solve this problem? It's very simple. When we draw the smart box, we can directly enter the current height of the smart box. We can directly enter the current height of the smart box. For example, we enter 1700. Enter. Then move the mouse to the wall position. Click the box. It will automatically match and align. Then press the spacebar to end the operation. Let's take a look. At this time, with the corresponding range hood, we can see that its height is aligned, right? In this case, we just need to make a split here. After clicking the box, put the mouse cursor on the horizontal line. and in the vertical input box in the lower right corner, and enter the exact value of the split. Okay, we can enter /343, space 343, space 450, space 450, space 411, space 411, space 411, enter. In this way, we can see that the smartbox into two parts, because it is a pair of doors, so we need to merge the smartbox, and merge it. We can hold down the CTRL key to select multiple objects. After selecting, right-click, and then click the context menu that pops up, and click Merge Box. OK. Next, we select the smartbox, and then open the product library. Find the cabinet in the product library. Then we find the upper cabinet. Then we find an upper cabinet with a door. We can double-click it. Here. Click Replace on the pop-up panel. So, we need to. The height shrinking is not needed. Depth retraction is still 20. Then, it's a back alignment. Then we replace it. Okay. In this way, we can see that the model we need has been processed. Well, this place. Because it is an exhaust hood. So we can. If we turn on the X-ray, we can see that inside. It needs to be avoided. So how can we solve this problem? One way is, we can make a split here. Which means, we can make a division for the box here. We can enter a slash and a space in the lower right corner. Enter, a slash, and a space. 500 space 1 enter. Then delete this part. After deleting it, we can see that the range hood, it will be moved out, right? There is no problem here. Of course, we can also make a fine adjustment to make it completely in the middle. Okay, for this part, we can choose this upper cabinet on the left, and then replace it. Okay then. After we replace this, the upper cabinet on the right, we can replace it here. Okay, we have completed the corresponding operation, right? Well, for the middle cabinet door, we need to delete it. After deleting it, we can pick up the inner space. After picking up the inner space, then adjust the inner space. Adjust it here. Then, we can enter the module of the double door, code 11, or directly click the disk icon above. Click it, and then apply it, right? In this way, we can make the door. In this way, we can complete the drawing of our model. This is one way. Of course, here, because we are using module modeling, we can also find a dedicated cabinet for this range hood, and then replace it, okay? It's all possible, according to our needs. Inside here, we can find the cabinets we just need, and then replace it. This operation shouldn't be too difficult. That is, we can use this method to quickly complete the creation of the model. Okay, now we have created it. After creating it, we can select it here. Here, we need to pay attention. If possible, we need to cut the model with Ctrl+X, and then enter the group editing state. And then we can paste it by clicking on a specific point, and paste it in. In this way, it will be a hole. Okay, let's select it again. Right-click, and select the context menu, and create a combined cabinet. Then we name it. Click OK, and it will be a hole. Next, we will assign a material to it. To assign this material, we can use the product library. Another way is, we can find the suction cup tool. To find our suction cup tool, here, we can see a suction tool. Then click the mouse cursor on other materials. Click. Then click the mouse cursor on the cabinet. The prompt that pops up, we select No. Then, here, we can select the cabinet and door panel to assign this material together. In this way, it will assign the material to all of them. Okay, now the lower cabinet and upper cabinet. We have finished the lower and upper cabinets. Of course, we can also create the hardware in advance. Let's take a look. We can click Create Hardware. Here, you can see, it will automatically generate the corresponding hardware. It's all okay, but now, because the model has not been completed yet, so we can temporarily not create the hardware. Next, we will draw the cabinets on the opposite wall. The cabinets on the opposite wall is actually the same as the method we talked about earlier. Is exactly the same. We can call up a box and then enter this here. Let's draw the upper cabinet first, and then draw the floor cabinet. Or draw the floor cabinet first, and then the upper cabinet. Okay, let's enter the height and depth of the upper cabinet, and then enter it. And then click to arrange. For the height, we can enter 1700. Enter. Okay, put the cursor here. Click. Okay. You can see that it has been aligned. Align it, and click to select the smart box. Place the mouse cursor on the horizontal line. In the lower right corner of the value input box, enter a slash. 433, space, 433, space, 433, space, 433, space, 433, enter. Okay. In this way is the corresponding position size of this upper cabinet. Okay, let's draw its base cabinet. Assistant, please note that don't select any objects here. Click in the blank area without selecting any objects. Then click on the smart box again. For the height, we need to set it higher. Set it to 905. So how did we come up with this? It's based on our comprehensive design. Then we need to consider the height of the owner and place corresponding electrical appliances. So, this height. Setting it higher is no problem. Okay. The depth is set at 650. This 650 is also considered the height of the owner, usage habits, and the size of the corresponding appliances. Okay, then we can arrange it here. For example, we can place it here and click. But the direction is reversed. We can see the front here. It doesn't matter at this time. We can rotate it by 180 degrees. Okay, select the smart box. Place the cursor here. Then, we can enter a slash. 1220, space, 270, space, 495, space, 495, space, 605, space, 530, enter. Okay, the box is divided. After the box is divided, we can hold down the Shift key to add selection. After selecting, then we use the Move tool. Align it to the back wall. Then use the Move tool to move it to the left. Lock the red axis and align it to the end of the upper cabinet, right? Well, this is how we adjust the smart box. Here, because an appliance is going to be placed, we leave this position for it. So we just delete it. After deleting it, of course, as we can see here, its smart box is inserted into the ground. So we need to use the Move tool to move it up and align it with the brick surface. Okay. Next, we can replace our cabinet. Okay, let's start with this and select it. Product library, and then find the cabinet. And find the cabinet we need. It's a pair of doors. Here, we need to pay attention. These two are a pair of doors. These two are a pair of doors. So, this is equivalent to a left opening door. So here we can find a cabinet with a door. It's a double cabinet with a left opening door. Here, we need to pay attention, because it's upper cabinet. So we don't need to make a height inward contraction. But the depth is needed. So we align it to the back, and then apply it. We can merge these two boxes. Okay, we can select them together. Then double-click. And then replace it. Okay, then apply the operation. In this way, we can complete the creation of this model. Below, it's a floor cabinet. For the floor cabinet, we can find a drawer base cabinet. It has 3 drawers. So here we find these 3 drawers. Okay, replace it. For replacement, because the height needs to be inward, we need to pay attention to this. It's okay here, and then apply it. Well, this 3-drawer base cabinet is done. This place, it's a pair of doors. So we need to find a cabinet with a door. It's a pair of doors. So we need to replace it here. Okay, then we can see that the model we need has been generated. Below this, why is it a right opening door? because considering that there is a washing machine here, because of the washing machine, it's convenient to place some items related to laundry. So, it is designed with a right door. Okay, and then we can find the right opening base cabinet. And then generate it, right? Well, this place, it actually needs to be empty. Just a frame. So, here, we can replace it with a door cabinet first. And then later, delete some unnecessary objects. Okay, we have finished processing here. After we finish, we can delete some unnecessary objects. And delete them first, including this board. If we don't need it, we can delete it. There is also this board below. We don't need to delete it. Then we can turn on the X-ray. And here, there will be some corresponding kickers, like this one, are not needed. We can also delete it. After deleting it, then this board, we need to extend it downward. Just this board. So, we can use the push and pull tool to push it down. To push it down to the ground. Push it here, okay? And on the left side, we need to push this board. To push it up. Let's turn on the X-ray. Then we enter the group editing state, and use the pull and push tool. To push it up. Let's turn off the X-ray. Push it here, okay? Okay, exit the group editing state. In this way, we can complete the drawing of our model. Of course, if we need a back panel, we can keep it. If we don't need the backplane, we can delete it. Another one. Here, there is a pipe. We need to remove this part. Here, the quickest way is 1 is to use the chamfer tool to cut it off. Here. The second way is we can edit its size. We can measure it here. We can here to see its corresponding size. It's 530, so we set its depth to 530. After setting it, of course, it is currently aligned to the back. Then we can use the move tool to move it. Okay, that's about it. Of course, we can also here change its alignment method to align it to the front. Then we can reduce it by 20 here, because I didn't consider the cabinet door just now. Let's adjust it here, right? It's also okay like this, okay? Okay. So what we need, the model of this cabinet, has been drawn here. We can then draw a countertop. We can open the client side panel. Then, find the icon to draw the countertop. Then, click here. Click, and then we capture this. Click on the endpoint. Okay, click on this endpoint. Then we move to this position and click. The formed panel. We can directly apply it. The countertop is drawn. The backsplash here. We don't need to delete it. If needed, we can keep it. Then, here. We need to draw a rectangle. Because most of them may be a stone. So, we need to leave the size. Okay, then we can turn on the X-ray. And push this surface away. Okay, delete. Push it off, okay? Of course, we can check it again here. It's not pushed out completely, so we need to process it. Okay. Then we move it back. This is the countertop we drew. Of course, this material needs to be longer. There must be a splicing in the middle. Next, we can select these models. To make a selection, right-click the pop-up context menu and create a combined cabinet. Now, it's a hole. Okay, for the top part, also needs to create a combined cabinet. Okay then. We can use the suction tool here. And then suck the material inside. Then, click here. Click here to select No. Then, and assign materials to the door panel and cabinet body. Here too. And assign the door panel and cabinet body. Okay. Then we can see that this model is done. After it's done, we can create hardware. Then, we can do intelligent detection, generate reports, and so on. We have talked about this in the previous tutorial. We have talked about it in the tutorial on the whole process. If you are not familiar with the entire process, you can watch the tutorial recorded by Major. Of course, in the actual practical process, we may also need to draw many details, such as the bottom plate, or this panel. We also need to draw them, just like this cabinet on the left. The kickboard below it. We need to draw it, right? But here, I didn't draw it in such detail. You can fill in this part. So the model we saw at the beginning was drawn. It's drawn step by step like this. Of course, this case is not difficult. And in our actual work, we may encounter more complex situations. In the actual work process, we can also pay attention to these details. So, in this video, I will stop here. Thank you, all.